Stage, Mr. Imran Shaikh. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shaikh, co-founder and chief operating officer for Propacity. Mr. Imran is a growth hacker with an impressive track record of over 10 years in scaling brands across diverse sectors. Well, also he's into demonstrating and transformative impact onto the platform when we talk about real estate sector. With this, our next speaker is, please give it up for Manjusha, Pingali, everybody. Portfolio growth, be great. We, ladies and gentlemen, Manjusha leads the portfolio growth efforts at a very, very high scale where she excels the splicing and of course the strategic partnerships across various industries, including the work of startups and aiming them to be the fundraiser in the world. She's right here with us. A big applause for the lady, please. With this, I request Mr. Rahul Goyal to kindly come and join us on stage. Co-founder, Realatte Ventures LLP. Welcome, sir. Mr. Rahul is a high-performing, strategic thinking, marketing professional with more than 8 years of experience. And of course, imagine marketing campaigns across all digital platforms. Finally, he's here with us to showcase his knowledge and of course, to share it indeed. With this, please call on stage our next speaker, Mr. Sudhanshu Kejriwal. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the managing director, Keydemand. Can we all pop up with some energies? Please, everybody. Thank you. Mr. Sudhanshu is an experienced investment banker with over a decade of experience in debt and also as well as experience in trade, research in hospitality advisory. His new venture, Keydemand, is the first of its own kind online B2B PropTech and non-residential real estate. Welcome, sir. And now with this, may I please call upon stage Mr. Uttam Reddy, founder of PropChk, please. Mr. Reddy has over 2 decades of rich experience in real estate sector. Before becoming a successful real estate developer under the brand name North Star Homes, having delivered over 12 projects. He's right here with us, everyone. We will be talking about something very picky and choosy topic that is going to be the congress of this evening. Also, I take this from inspection company of Brigade. A big warm welcome to you too, sir. Well, with this, everyone, I think we are absolutely good to go. Can we all just put our hands together for all these people right here? When I'm talking about experience, 2 decades, 10 years, 8 years, you can just see, experience is the king when we talk about knowledge sharing. So why not? The very big topic, the next big idea, disruptive real estate tech interventions. Without further ado, let's get ready. And now the stage is all yours to the moderator. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you Realty Plus for this and all the attendees here. Hyderabad is known not just for its real estate growth. It kind of taught what IT and growth for us is back in the years. It's also known for its biryani as well. And I'm just coming back after experiencing a sumptuous meal. So thank you so much Hyderabad and Realty Plus for this. And it was very interesting. Before I start, I want to take this. It was very interesting. I was in the flight from Bangalore in the morning, and the younger generation next to me, we're talking about generative AI. And this one young girl, she pulled out Gemini, which is the generative AI of Google, and she started asking questions, and the conversation was becoming very interesting, right? The next generation people are very, very tech friendly. It's tech native for them. So digital was coming cool, and when I was listening to them, I was like, okay, I'm going to be talking about real estate disruption. I know I come with a bit of baggage from JLL, what we do today in India, with so much technology here and there. So why not I give a shot on what real estate globally, if it was digitally transformed, what does it mean in terms of money? And I was surprised to know that we're already looking at about $400 billion in 2023 as a global opportunity if all the real estate globally was transformed. And it is growing at 25%. Right, all the built assets today globally, if they start transforming, we actually make more money by transforming. And that was like sense of nimadi for me or a sense of peace for me. So okay, we are in the right space, we are in the right time in India, and I think all of us as stakeholders of this ecosystem should look at this. And I think it's the right time that we get to speak about the same topic, the big idea and disruption in the real estate space. So over to our speakers, if you could just introduce yourself, one liner on what you do so that everybody in the audience knows about this as well.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Imran. I'm one of the co-founders of Propacity. So basically, we help real estate developers, specifically tier 2, tier 3 developers, liquidate faster. So we have a platform called Propacity platform where developers from tier 2, tier 3 cities and tier 2, tier 3 markets can come, launch their product, and we have a distribution of brokers which help them liquidate faster. That is what we do.
Interesting. So you're telling me that tier 2 is already waiting to be disrupted. Interesting. Working.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Manjusha. Today I'm representing an organization called Brigade on this platform. Brigade is a 7-year-old organization which provides a platform for startups innovating in the real estate space. And we help early stage startups to build fundamental strong business models around their products. And it's of course a part of Brigade Group, so also representing the group here. And would love to talk more about my startups and the spaces they're innovating and looking forward for the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone, I'm Rahul Goyal. I'm another co-founder at Realatte. We basically are one of the largest digital marketing agency in India. We currently work with more than 200 real estate developers, helping them transform their digital journey using a lot of technology solutions. I will be giving you a few use cases that we have been, working with a lot of larger developers. So wait for the next 2-3 questions to come in.
Sure.
I'm Sudhanshu from Keydemand. Keydemand is a non-residential demand aggregation platform. We are helping developers to lease and sell their retail and commercial assets on a per basis. The company is about 10 months old. In 10 months, we managed to aggregate close to 9 million square feet of leasing requirements on a per basis. This is covering 230 cities as of now. Tier 2, tier 3 cities seem to be the flavor for most of our clients. Of course, tier 1 cities are always high in demand, but we are seeing a lot of traction coming towards tier 2 and tier 3.
Hi, good evening. My name is Uttam. I'm a developer from Hyderabad. About 4 years ago, I have ventured into PropTech. And one of our solutions is software and technology app which helps in home inspection. So any builder or a consumer who has purchased or sold a house would like to know the quality of the house which is being delivered. So we have developed a system where you can check that, and that will help in rating the house in order to rectify the defects. The company name is PropChk, and our office is from Delhi. I'm representing PropChk as the co-founder here. Thank you.
Wow, that's an interesting mix on the panel here. I'd like to go first with Uttam. You were a builder yourself, right? And this transformation to be a technology person now, what inspired you to get into this change? And if you could throw a use case of how what happened at PropChk happened for you, and how is it solving your problem as a builder also? Maybe because we have quite a few in the audience as well.
Right. Thanks, Abhishek, for asking this question. It's a very important question. I think every builder or every real estate person should ask himself. I, as a CEO of one of our companies, Cyber City, I sold about 2,000 apartments in the span of about 5 years. And in this course, I might have met around 10,000 people. See, what I felt is that whenever you buy something, you buy a biryani and you're happy today, you buy a good dress and you feel happy. So whenever you buy a product or a service, you end up with some happiness. Real estate is the only product, when you buy it, you end up in fear of getting it either delivered, not delivered, or in anticipation of what will go wrong with it. So it's a very harsh fear that harsh reality that we are living in, and somehow it has to be addressed. House buying is not a pleasant experience in India. Whatever you say, there are good builders, there are bad builders, but overall, it's not a great genuine experience. This has to be corrected. So that made me think and took a step towards this. I could not build another 20, 15 more buildings. I would still do it, but there's not giving me that kind of a high where I find a solution to a problem and which can be implemented at a national or a global scale.
It's a good one, right? I mean, today the buyers are a lot more conscious, right? There is so much of information at disposal. You have so many marketplace applications out there. I can go and search a lot. So when I'm making a discovery or if I'm making a decision, I want to be sure that I'm actually doing the right thing. And it is one of the trends that we're seeing today. It started with, like you said, with food and everywhere. Now everywhere you want quality check. You want to be sure that we're doing the right thing. And that's one of the things that technology actually enables us to do. Technology is an enabler for us to transform our business, and it's a very good use case you've given there. We will double click on what PropChk does when they move on to Keydemand. And it was interesting what you mentioned, right? Tier 2 city as the next growth market, right? We've all seen the story of Tier 1 for all these years. It's given us enough HNIs. I think the next growth market is Tier 2 and Tier 3. If you could shed some light there, and how are you actually enabling this transformation and bringing the Tier 2 and Tier 3 onto this bandwagon, that will be helpful.
So, I have been in the real estate industry for about 16 years. Hyderabad was actually was the market where I started my investment banking career in 2005. So happy memories of this place. But coming to Tier 2 cities, right, today when you are talking about any brand, Tier 1 cities, they always want to be in Tier 1 cities, but they struggle with Tier 2, Tier 3. Logistics is a huge problem. Okay, getting inventory from developers is a problem because there is, I would say, an entry barrier. Today when we talk to developers in say Tier 3, Tier 4 city, let me give Almora or Siliguri as an example, right? We've got site visits done in Siliguri, we've got a term sheet issued in Almora while I'm sitting in Bombay, right? And the bank is sitting in Bangalore. What we did was we allowed people to discover each other. And not just discover each other, but also in a manner where, without any disrespect to any PropTech platform of the early 2000s, it's not a listing platform. Right? It's a platform where it's an RFP. I require a ceiling height of 14 feet. I require a frontage of 20 feet. We've gone into the details of the price. We met developers who are coming for exhibitions to Bombay and Bangalore once a year with the hope that they will meet a couple of brands and manage to lease something which they have built. We just said, why you should still come to these conferences. You should not meet your partners at these conferences, but let's do one thing. Let me make you reach out to these brands through the word. As we are talking to more brands, and today we tell a brand that listen, we've got a mall in Imran where we've got 3 of your competitors placed, it's immediately of interest because for them discovery as well as verification has already happened. So our idea about Tier 2, Tier 3 city was very simple. Bharat is growing to Tier 2, Tier 3. Okay, if India has to grow, become a 6 trillion, 7 trillion economy, it is not going to be built by 7 cities. It has to be a lot beyond that. And it became a natural progression, actually.
It's interesting because this is a lot of relevance to what happened with PhonePe and the Google Pay, right? The banks were very happy thinking I've got a set of customers, but when PhonePe and Google Pay happened, even a Panwala became the customer, and now he's taking loans as well. So you're actually increasing your consumer base.
In fact, UPI has helped this grow to the Tier 3, 4 so easily for brands because for them now, maintenance of MIS is just happening automatically.
That's the power of, that's the disruption which is happening right now. And we've seen 2 examples now. So I move on to Rahul to share his story and his experience of what did technology do to you, or what did you do to technology?
I would say I have seen a lot of phases of technology. We were doing marketing in the days when there was no CRM. And I would say there are still a lot of brands who are very new to CRMs. But we have seen the phases where leads were actually managed over an Excel, Now there are systems in place to ensure that there is complete transparency. Brands are able to evaluate from where the leads are coming in. So I would now like to bring you the phase that a lot of disruption is already happening in other industries and other categories, and real estate is also adapting it. Larger players like Piranal and Uttam of Bombay, even Brigade from South, Purvankaras. So what we have started noticing is that you would have seen AI creatives nowadays, right? There is a platform called Midjourney. You give prompts to that tool and it will produce a very appealing creative which even a designer from the best agencies cannot produce those kind of a creative. And these creatives completely transforms your presence online, right? So they are able to attract better customers. You are able to save cost in designing. You are able to get results which are much far better than what you used to generally achieve. Very simple example. Using AI that you can deliver. We are also seeing in other categories that there are tools in video creation where you customize your user experience. So now when you get a lead and inquiry, you reach out to them via your emails and SMS. The best next thing probably would be a chatbot that you have already done. But brands have moved away and going beyond chatbot. Create one simple video through an influencer or an MD, and that exact video can now be used to be customized to thousands of customers. So we say hello Rahul, and that hello Rahul word can be replaced with thousands of names using AI. So you are able to use one content piece and reach out to everybody with a very personalized message. So very standard, very simple tools to give a very better customer experiences. This is another growth we are seeing that technology is changing in the real estate space. I'm sure most of you have seen influencers also getting a part in the digital journey now. So they come at your site, shoot a record video, and then the content is shown to the customer, their follower base. Now if you pick up a real estate influencer, then you are able to reach out to a very large audiences with a very small cost. So this awareness pieces is also really helping brands to take advantage of technology solution. Everybody has moved to Instagram now. Hardly anybody, in the age group of even 35 and 45, you would see most of them are on Instagram and spending a lot of time watching reels. So if you are not there, then you have lost an opportunity to attract that customer for your project. This has very few interesting ways of ensuring that you are using technology in your day-to-day campaigns. There are very core concepts like cookies. Now, if you've been hearing that Google will very soon wrap up the cookie tracking. So once that is done, you probably will not have access to the marketing base that you generally do. So we as a technology partner also bring some ideas and insights, track these customers on the server levels, help you do offline conversion tracking using CAPI, and also I don't want to complicate a lot of things here. Just telling you that technology can change your ROI drastically. Don't just depend on the standard stuff. I'm sure Hyderabad has a lot of potential now. I've met a lot of brands. They are very aggressive on their campaigns. Unless you merge technology, you will not be able to survive and achieve the ROI that you are reaching, right? So everybody is on digital now. You have to create that differentiator, and technology is helping brands to bring that differentiator.
That's interesting, and I will relate to it again from the airport experience. When I was coming down, there were I think 3 or 4 billboards of the MDs or the promoters of the firms talking about themselves. They named it and said, I give you trust. My name shows trust, right? That's the right thing, right? He's personalizing the whole message of his brand, but putting up a billboard outside of the airport is not easy. Maybe at 1/10 the cost. With technology, you can reach out to so many more. And we already have success stories from Zerodha, from other YouTube companies as well, right?
Yeah, Zomato was running an ad. If you have seen the Cricket World Cup ad of Ranveer Singh and the Chris Gayle ad, they shot it once in Hindi. And across India, the same shot was actually translated into different languages to a restaurant. So they actually used a name in the ad, and everybody was able to customize it to the restaurant name using deepfake and AI. So this is the level that you can actually leverage technology for your campaigns.
Very interesting, and that's what technology can do to us. I know we have some time there left. Manjusha, you are helming one of the largest incubation of real estate space, right, in the startup space. I think largest in the continent, if not today. Yeah, in the Asian continent. And I've been lucky to be a part of their cohort in my early days as well. So Manjusha, if you could share some insights on how you're seeing from your lens. You're part builder, you're part supplier as well now as a startup. So how do you see this marriage happening?
Right, so quickly talking about startups a little and just trends in the PropTech over the last few years, right? So someone mentioned, Uttam mentioned there were just online listing platforms few years back, and that's when PropTech started with like online listings of properties. So since then we've seen an evolution and it has been in phases. So the online folks are now trying to extract the most from their customers because they are acquiring these customers at a spending a cost, and they want to offer more and more to these customers so that the customers stay with them. So the online guys are now moving into interiors. The online guys are now moving into package services. The online guys are now moving into vastu services or things like that. So it's basically offering more to the customers that they're already acquiring on the platform and how to create that stickiness on the platform. So that's how the online listing has evolved now. Of course, then came your co-living and co-workings of the world, and we saw a boom happening there. It's still going on, but I think during COVID was a peak of that. But we are seeing a gradual shift from a pure consumer-based SaaS products to B2B products. So your marketplaces to procure material is something that's fairly new. People want to serve businesses and not just go to the end customers. They are realizing there are a lot of inefficiencies when it comes to construction tech itself in the way buildings are built and operated. And there's a huge scope for startups to service this segment of the market. So we're seeing a gradual shift from, like I said, from a pure B2C models to a more B2B sort of service models. I can talk about few startups later, maybe. And but yeah, that's pretty much the life cycle of the PropTech trend that we've seen. Coming to the builder part of it, of course, I mean, yeah, you're right, I've seen both sides. And what I would say is the startups really need to evaluate the risk and the reward that they're providing to their customers, right? There are low risky products. Retrofitting something is easier for me. A sales platform, again, integrating with my software is easier for me rather than saying I change my composition of cement tomorrow, right? So there are different kinds of startups. You have to try to see what audience you're catering to, how much of a risk is it in it for them, and then position your product accordingly. So you need to be very clear in terms of what you're providing to your stakeholders, what is the price they're paying for it, and what they're getting in return. So that's what, I mean, if the customer is convinced by the startup that they're able to position this better, I'm sure the good products sell.
And it's always true with real estate, right? It's always per square feet kya hai?
Yes.
Per square feet kitna hai? I think the unit economics becomes very strong for us.
Yes.
Yeah. My friend here, if you could just throw some light on your experience as well.
Yeah, sure. So, as you were mentioning the generative AI story in the flight you were there, so I'd like to tell about what we are building in Propacity platform. So we have a module called as AI Cockpit, which is for promoters. So there is there are more than 1,000 conversations that are happening on our platform, and all that data is being analyzed by the AI. So what happens is generative AI is more effective when you train that data, when you train that AI based on the subset that you have. So when you use such general AI tools, you will get more generalized options or generalized results. But what we are doing is we are training this AI in our platform with more context of real estate. So as Rahul was also mentioning, the creatives. So whatever insights that we are generating from the platform, like whatever customer profiling is happening through brokers, so we understand what kind of buyers are there and what they want to see, what are they searching for, and based on that the strategy is decided. So basically, the AI is helping promoter make smart decisions in terms of project planning. Like, I should launch a 2 BHK in this market at this carpet at this price, is something that the AI can predict. If I'm doing a campaign, this is the kind of creative that should go, this is the kind of communication that should go. So we are using tech inside our platform for the promoter to make smart decisions and increase their ROI, whatever they are spending. That is what we are doing with tech.
Interesting, right? I mean, from a discovery phase to your construction phase and through your operations phase as well. I think I'll pick up something from our previous panel as well. The experienced folks were talking about a lot of change is essential in the market, right? Could be from achieving your sustainability goals or keeping it under control, the cost under control. And I just share something from my experience at JLL. These are the same questions that my clients ask me. Could be a builder, could be an investor, or could be an occupant. And there have been time and again that, we have surprised our clients. One of it is we've picked up the startup which is into retrofit energy efficiency, and we're able to drive about 8 to 9 crore per annum saving for this occupant across their portfolio. And because when we started the conversation, it was always like, okay, this is a tall claim you're making, Abhishek, can we actually achieve it? And today it has become a reality. And even one of this client of ours, where they had to make their sustainability reporting, so they had to make a lot of changes into how they were operating their business itself or how they were making their new designs. That's when the entire startup pool actually came handy, right? I mean, they were able to save a lot from their materiality, carbon footprint itself, because now these startups have a new way of looking at life. They have a new business model in mind. It could be a service that they can offer. It could be a product at a much lesser cost, which is actually solving our real estate problems across as well. And that is something which is very interesting for us. And I think that's where I see the whole industry heading into. And Hyderabad has also been a pioneer in this. It could be the T-Hub or the associated stakeholders here who've been actively investing into real estate specific focus funds. I mean, I'm talking, we're seeing somebody who's doing dry air cooling, cooling as well. So I don't need to invest into heavy chillers now. I could run the building at maybe 1/10 the cost of energy of cooling the entire building, and that could be passed on to the occupant, and it could mean per square feet value is going higher for the builder as well, right, or the developer as well. This is interesting. So I know we only have 10 more minutes, so I think I could run this way now. Tell us one use case that the audience from here can pick up from Propacity now, so they could see how they could use you.
Yeah, so I'm in Hyderabad from last 2 days, and I've seen that there is lot of inventory that is still unsold there. There are all ready to move in apartments. So everyone here can use our platform to list that inventory, and we can use our distribution. We can help developers liquidate their inventory faster.
Oh, that's an interesting takeaway. I'm sure a lot of us will be excited about that. Manjusha, you want to share a few startups? I think that's a gold mine sitting there.
Yeah, sure. So I work with a lot of startups, as I mentioned. They range from right from your land selection to the way you build your building to the way you operate and the way you sell. Few examples: I have a startup which is using geospatial analytics and a bunch of other technology to tell developers their underground water situation. So they can actually tell today, without even building anything on the land, that tomorrow are you going to have seepage issues or flooding issues, so that developers can make intelligent calls. Okay, should we buy land here or not? So it starts from right there. It's as basic as that of the life cycle. Coming to your design, where another software is telling you, okay, if you use these materials, this is the carbon emission you're going to produce once you build the building. These are components you can change to reduce the carbon emission, right? So that's another startup which comes into the design stage. There are a lot of startups operating on the operational side of the buildings, right from your energy efficient lighting to your EV charging stations to your air quality monitoring. So a bunch of startups working on the efficient operations of the building sites. And of course, there are a few startups which are also helping in better sales and things like that. There are analytics startups which are helping analyze a bunch of data and giving out information which can be used again to make some intelligent decisions about your leasing and things like that. So yeah, as I mentioned, I work with 65 plus startups. I'm happy to talk about all of them in case you're interested. But like I said, I I do have startups in in operating in different subsectors during the life cycle of the product.
Very interesting.
So, few use cases if I need to talk about. Recently, so we generally believe a full funnel strategy for all our brands. Full funnel is basically creating, awareness in the first funnel, and then creating consideration in the second funnel, and driving actions in the last funnel. Across these three funnels, initially each funnel had a unique set of platform, content, okay. So there are video editing for our brands. That has changed the way general generation marketing used to happen. So that is one use case we see shaping the entire digital marketing.
So I'll give you a use case of a client which has about 25 F&B brands in their umbrella. So they joined our platform about 6 months back, and they said, we want to expand rapidly in the southern and western part of the country. On our platform, we've got developers, but we've got 630 brokers as well. So we're a very neutral platform. We do not give preference to the tier of the developer or a broker, right? If you have the inventory and the brand wants it, please meet each other and transact. In a matter of about 3 months, this brand has now issued LOIs of about 2 lakh square feet across the country. Last week, they signed an exclusivity for Keydemand for all the 7 estates with the 25 brands. So this was basically just creating awareness and making a neutral platform that, we've got an RFP platform, we've got requirement for leasing. If you have the supply, please use the platform and please transact. We are now adding sales to the platform, again for non-residential only, where we are enabling developers to even expand their sales of commercial, whether it is retail pre-leased or commercial strata, with channel partners also. So we are just expanding that neutral reach across the market. So anybody now with developers, they are now approaching us saying, listen, I've got 1 lakh square feet of retail coming up. We started with retail, we added commercial only in December, where they are now coming up to us saying, what should be the product mix, what kind of anchor should we have, and what kind of F&B needs can we have. And today, online, offline, we are in conversation with 300 brands. So now they're coming up to saying, why don't you just handle my retail? While we will continue offline, we are very sure that offline channels shall continue, but we are giving them the online experience now.
Great to hear some of the stories. I think culmination of all this will give a new avatar to real estate in India. So coming to PropChk, like I mentioned, we are into quality inspection of homes. I'll give you a couple of use cases. Might sound extreme, but this is a fact. So from a consumer point of view, we inspected more than 3,000 homes today. And in one of the homes, we also do area measurement for every home that we inspect. And we reported a 50 SFT less area in a flat of 850 SFT of carpet area. So the customer was appalled and he was furious, but he was given the justice when he went to the builders and he had the names here. But that's the level where we are operating today. Now, not just that, leakages, seepages, we take the key today and next month the house starts leaking. And this can be detected with the thermal infrared imaging right now. Technology is available, we should use it. We are not trying to antagonize the customer to the builder or the builder, but we're just trying to make them more responsible and conscious of what they're doing. And I believe that whenever we're taking the full meaning, I think we have to give the full service to them. That's one example. And on the other side, developers, very surprisingly, very strangely, and that's where it reinforced our business so much, is that we got calls from developers. We got our first call from Bangalore, where a developer called in and said that, hey, this is a great service. I want every home from now on to be inspected by you guys before I give it to my customers. And my rating according to your score should be 98. anything less than 100, I'm not delivering this house to anybody. He told all his engineers and his staff in front of the office. Now this has actually spread. Many builders are calling us. We might have a different score. Somebody says 95, somebody says 92. It depends on the kind of product they're delivering. But we still fight in situations where we are not allowed into the project to do this inspection because builders think that we're doing something wrong. At the same time, builders are inviting us to inspect this. And today we are serving at least 6 or 7 builders, big builders, across all the projects we are servicing them, and we are seeing great result. We are so happy because the customers, when they come into the house, they are delighted. But they don't see even a stain mark. And we as builders, I'm a builder, I know the pain, we as builders will never pay for less quality job. We pay in full to our contractors and our employees. It's just that in this scheme of things, it just happens that this laxity leads to this kind of a quality. But through a little bit of correction here, we can deliver great homes to our consumers and build the trust of the customer into the builder, into the real estate market, which helps improve the business.
It's a great story, right? I mean, now the builder, I'm sure, is going back and talking to his customers that I am 98% ready for you, or I'm delivering value to you, right? To all the audience, this was not a marketing attempt at each one of us. The reason I want you to do this is, disruption, I always say, because I lead innovation at JLL, I always say disruption is like the guy who goes on the January 1st to the gym saying, I'm coming back like Sylvester Stallone. It's all numbers and graphics and everything there. It's just imagination. But it never comes into reality because at the 4th of January, I'm back having biryanis maybe somewhere. But I wanted to take out these use cases here to the larger audience here and see how we can pick something like this and make it a part of our design, of our culture. And that's where all of us have to be heading to, is what we think. We still have 2 minutes here. Any questions to the panelists here? We'll be more than happy to answer them and see how we can take this discussion forward. We can already see a hand up here. If somebody could pass on the mic.
Actually, I'm loud enough.
That's the power of startup. We go to our customers.
So I have a slightly fundamental question, which is around PropTech. And this is for you, Manjusha, and anybody else who wants to answer. How do you achieve scale rapidly, right, other than in fintech, on real estate, and to a lesser extent sales and marketing?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a very good question, and I was just talking to the panel before we came here that that's one of the things we are helping startups with, because scaling up is a big issue. It's easier to build for one building. The moment you have to build for 100, it becomes a challenge, right? And that is where I think, I mean, of course, I'm not taking credit, but organizations like REAP come into picture where we help startups navigate through the complex ecosystem of real estate, because sometimes the startup is going and selling to a person who is not the decision maker. You need to understand developer is the face of it, but the person who actually is the decision maker or working on it is someone else. You probably have to sell to an MEP consultant and not a developer. Things like that. So a lot of issues in scaling up, of course, but I think it starts with understanding who your customer is and going to the right customer with the right price and the right proposition. I think I would say that, and like you rightly said, scaling up a B2C is much easier, which is the case with the sales platforms today. But like I said, that's the only way. Finding the right B2B audience, pricing it at the right price and selling it at a right model is something we are helping startups with, and that's how we see them scaling up through the journey.
Can I add to that?
Sure, please.
So we are a P2P platform, right? And scaling has not been easy. Scaling up has not been easy. Right? As a startup, you've got financial restrictions, you've got reach restrictions, everything. So what we realized is for the first 10 months or so, we went horizontal first rather than going vertical. Right? We managed to reach people. We've reached a certain set of developers. Now we are trying to reach more developers because we've got success stories. Like what Manjusha was saying, that it takes time to reach your right this thing. But scaling up for startups, right? Startups remain a startup till their Series C funded also, right? Early stage scaling up remains a challenge. You have to reach certain amount of success before you can say that I'm here to scale up, I'm here to reach everybody. B2C, like you said, is a lot easier because you are throwing a quiver full of arrows and there's a very good chance it's going to hit someone or the other. B2B is a very different story. You have to be very, very specific. You have to be patient, build some success stories and then reach out to more.
That's interesting. I just shared last 2 cents of this experience, right? When we were doing innovation, or in my past life in the startup space where I used to sell products to the builders, the developers and the occupants, it was always a 1-year cycle. I would sell in January, December happens, the next January, my customer is looking for the next product. And it was never ending story then, right? You never achieve scale with that. So what we did internally in our Idea Labs today is, we don't approach a problem top down alone, we take it bottom up as well. We just don't, so I keep telling my startup founders as well, it is very easy to sell in a boardroom. It doesn't stop there. You need to go right from the managing directors to the lower hierarchies to the ground. And if everybody in that organization is going to accept your technology, that's when you actually achieve your product market fit. And that's allowing us to replicate a lot as well. So if that question is coming from a startup perspective, I think the founding team has to spend a lot more time going beyond the boardroom, going to the entire hierarchy of every organization, of every client of there, and understanding why should somebody at the manager level or the ground level should use my technology. Solve their problem first, they will start accepting PropTech and the new disruption that we bring on board, and that's when we will actually build long-lasting companies like what the fintechs or the SaaS companies have built in the past. That's 2 cents I want to share.
Yeah, that question is coming from an investor who's kind of struggling to find companies where we can invest and achieve scale rapidly. That's the perspective. So thank you.
No, so
And we should meet outside.
sorry, to investors, I think one small message: please be patient with the startups because it's not a short-term journey. They take a little longer to pilot their products, prove what they can do, and then conversion happens into a successful contract. So if you're an investor, my sincere request to please be patient with the startups till they perform.
So yeah, thank you so much. I know you're waiting for the next panel. So thank you so much everybody here and Realty Plus for giving us this opportunity, and to all the panelists for taking time out. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you just, bring some more energy for all the panelists and the moderator? I request all of you to kind of stay back with us. And may I please request Mr. C. Shaikh, Reddy, sir, Chairman, CII Telangana, to kindly come and join us on stage, do the honors by presenting a token of gratitude from our side. Come on everyone, I think yes, please. Thank you very much. That was an absolute great knowledge sharing and discussion. Thank you very much to all the speakers, the panelists and the moderator for organizing it so beautifully and gracefully. Thank you. Of course, there's no still wondering, we have less time, to go to the Q&A, to open the floor for that. But of course, our people are around you. So if you have any question, queries, I think. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now with this, we request all of you to stay tuned as we're moving on with our next